My name is Hannah Carney, and I am the Mentor Program Coordinator for the Minnesota Business Leadership Network. And this past spring, 2017, we piloted this program for the very first time, and we invited college students with disabilities, leveraging our partnership with the Minnesota Association of Higher Education and Disabilities. We were able to recruit 9 college students, and then we also leveraged our membership and our network of businesses and companies to recruit 9 mentors. And so we had 18 people total in our pilot program.
My name is Anastasia. I was a student at Metro State. I graduated with psychology, and I'm working and planning on working in community development. What interested me about the mentorship program was having an experienced person who went through a lot of the experiences that I would be going through developing a career and coming out of school. My mentor was Dawn Kitchener, and Dawn and I communicated through phone, email, and we got to meet in person, which was great. We didn't have strict times that we would call and meet with each other, but we did talk quite a lot, at least once every 2 weeks or so.
My name is Dawn Kirchner, and I'm a diversity recruitment specialist at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. When I think back to the beginning of the journey with Anastasia, I remember setting a strong foundation via email since we could not meet in person at the first time. We shared a little bit about where we grew up, where we currently lived, where we went to school, where we worked, and how we got to the job we're at, and of course what we each hope to get out of the Minnesota BLN mentorship program.
Dawn as a mentor really helped me with my career development because I was already in the field, I was already working in the field that I graduated in, and there were just so many questions and so much navigation that I asked her about, questions just about personal goals and just the back end of how a business works and how employer relationships work and just things in the workplace. That was my first time being like a really professional career setting, and it was great to learn from her because she's in HR and she had a lot to say and a lot of advice to give me.
I was really impressed by Anastasia from the start. She had great energy and a desire to learn from this experience. Another thing I really appreciated about Anastasia was her engagement. She took the initiative to connect with me and always let me know if we needed to reschedule our time. She came to our conversation prepared with questions and what she wanted to learn during each hour we spent together.
I would come to our meetings on the phone with questions about my job, with situations that I had at work, and I would ask her for advice or what she's seen before, or kind of would give her like my ideas, like this is what I think I should do, this is what I have been doing, what do you think of this? And I gave her, we made long-term goals for work, short-term goals, and that was kind of like an overview of just the entire going forward into the career path, of having goals, reaching them, and maintaining those goals.
We did a kickoff webinar. Myself as the coordinator sent out emails every 2 weeks with different prompts to help the mentor pairs as they were thinking about topics to cover in their conversations, ideas such as resume writing or interview skills, elevator pitches, those types of things as the content for the mentoring program. And then halfway through the program, we had a second webinar that focused specifically on disability disclosure in the interview and hiring process. And so really giving mentees primarily access to information about, when and how are different ways that people do disclose, and some things to think about at each step, whether it's pre-interview or during the interview or pre-job offer, post-job offer, just all the things to think about in terms of when and how to communicate that information to an employer.
Yeah, I totally never ever mentioned anything to anyone before this about that. You know, I had different way of doing things, different way of thinking about things. So it's just like something I just kept to myself and hoped that would never be a problem. When I was in college, in all my school years through you know, from grade school to high school, I was an excellent reader, and I still am. But I just never realized that it was kind of abnormal to have your letters like switch around, and like when I was writing, my letters are all mixed up, and I had a much harder time, and because maybe of the stress in the classes I was taking, I had a much harder time focusing on what I was reading and retaining that. And I was like, this is abnormal, like this is not me. I need to go check this out. And after talking to my family, to professionals, and to people at my school and the accessibility office, they're like, yeah, you know, you could use some instruments, and you know, this is common. It's called dyslexia, like people have it. One action I'll take next thing as the next step in this program, I will take the things that I learned, especially about communication, about about how I deal with my disability even. I will really take that into any situation I go to next in my career, in any project I'll be going to next, because I learned how to use myself, how to use my assets for the best, and also really learn how to give my advice and to learn from my own journey, and how to hopefully mentor someone else.
So if you're interested in becoming a mentor and participating in the Minnesota BLN mentorship program, I think you'll be really pleased that they do an excellent job of pairing the mentors with the industry and a career pathway for a college graduate. I would definitely recommend being a mentor in the Minnesota BLN mentorship program. There's so much knowledge as an employer that you can share with these young college-age students and make a difference in their future, that you're going to gain as much from the program as they gain. It's really just a win-win for both of you.